Coal Mining Safety by Liam Brown
and Maxwell Myers, Junior Division Documentary.
Coal mining today in Wyoming is not like mining in the past. Not long ago, miners were dying, getting injured, and getting diseases by the dozens. The reason is no safety regulations. There were cave-ins, explosions, minecart crashes, black lung, slate falls, increased asthma, and environmental catastrophes. It was one of the most dangerous jobs, so something had to be done. When people first went into coal mining, they thought that they would become rich, but when they got going, all they found was extreme hardship.
The first thing we are going to talk about is how the coal mines were before most safety regulations were created, which is the revolution. Then, how the government and people reacted to the danger, which is the reaction. And finally, how the safety now is, which is the reform. The revolution is what caused the reaction and the reform. So we will talk about the accidents and dangers of old mines before safety regulations were established.
Most historians believe that the first major coal mine was opened in Scotland in 1575 by Sir George Bruce of Carnac of Culross to get coal from a moat pit underwater on the Firth of Forth.
When coal was discovered in Sheridan and the surrounding area, many people traveled to Wyoming from Europe to find coal and get rich. The coal taken from the Sheridan area mines was referred to as black diamonds. It was good quality coal that was in a large supply. Mining is a big business in the Sheridan area with approximately 650 million tons of merchantable coal laying under the coal mine's properties.
In this picture, look at what the miners are wearing. They have simple, non-protective headgear, no hearing or eye protection whatsoever, and normal clothes with no safety additions or protective boots.
Especially in underground coal mines, miners usually had to work in cramped, uncomfortable spaces with very little ventilation with lots of dangerous black lung causing coal dust.
In the United States, more than 100,000 coal miners were killed in accidents over the past century, with more than 3,200 dying in 1907 alone.
One of the worst types of accidents is an explosion. There was once an explosion at Kemmerer Coal Company's Frontier No. 1 mine that killed a staggering 99 people on August 14, 1923.
Another explosion in the Monarch No. 2 coal mine that killed 8, the blast penetrated a 4-inch thick concrete feed vent for mules. Many coal mine explosions are made from a fire starting in the mine with an unstable amount of flammable gas, in which then catches fire and boom, you're dead.
There are hundreds of other accidents that could happen in old coal mines, but the next thing we are going to talk about is poisonous gases. The main type of poisonous gas in underground coal mines was carbon monoxide. But back then, they tested for poisonous gas by letting a canary go in first. The canary would be called a bioindicator, something that is extra sensitive to a certain chemical or gas, often used to check if something is safe. This is where the phrase, "a canary in a coal mine," comes from. This method was also used in archaeology, other types of mining, and many things that take place underground.
Another method is to carry a lamp, and if the flame flickers, it means there is methane gas, and if it goes out, the air is unbreathable. If you did get caught in gas, though, which is sometimes generated by explosion, you wouldn't have much of a chance. In one case, a man would only walk a little farther than 200 feet before dying from gases after an explosion.
Now we will talk about the public and government reaction to the safety problem. Since so many people were dying, coal miners, and especially their families, were a little unhappy. Eventually the MSHA, Mining Safety and Health Administration, was formed in 1978. Their mission statement is this: the purpose of the Mine Safety and Health Administration is to prevent death, disease, and injury from mining and to promote safe and healthful workplaces for the nation's miners. They also published a handbook for mine safety inspections that is now used everywhere in the U.S.
The MSHA is just one part of the people's reaction. There were many other regulations eventually. In 1891, Congress made the first federal statute of mine safety, which prohibited hiring children under 12. It also set minimum ventilation requirements, which isn't a lot of rules, but one of the most important things was that it set in motion several other coal mine safety laws. In 1910, the government created the Bureau of Mines, which was supposed to reduce accidents in coal mines and was allowed to start inspecting mines in 1941. Congress later authorized the first federal regulation code for coal mine safety in 1947.
In 1952, the Federal Coal Mine Safety Act gave annual inspections in certain mines and allowed the Bureau to issue violation notices and imminent danger withdrawal orders. This act also permitted the assessment of civil penalties against mine operators for not complying with their withdrawal orders or not letting inspectors go on the mine property. In 1966, this was extended to all underground coal mines. Next, Congress passed the Federal Coal Mine Health and Safety Act in 1969, usually called the Coal Act. This act included both surface and underground coal mines, and ruled that surface mines have 2 inspections per year and underground mines 4 per year, and each are inspected once a day by the mine's safety manager.
Another feature of this act is charging fines for most violation and crime penalties for doing something that you know was against the rules. It also provides help for miners with black lung and diseases caused by breathing in coal dust. Last, we have the Federal Mine Safety and Health Act of 1977, which currently grows MSHA's activity. So as you can see, there have been many coal mine safety regulations created and more are still being added on now.
Now that we have discussed what coal mines were like before most safety regulations were created, and then what safety regulations were made, so now I shall discuss what coal mines are like now in safety. Today's safety gear is a huge part of safety in coal mines. For example, it is mandatory for every miner that is going to be experiencing loud noise to have ear protection, and all miners must wear a helmet and safety goggles. Even the helmets themselves have been changed many times. The helmets used to be metal, but then they discovered that electricity easily travels through those, so they are now lightweight plastic and have a shorter brim so that they can't be knocked off as easily.
In the cabins on bulldozers, shovels, and other vehicles are heated and air-conditioned with an emergency radio in each now too. When there is a conveyor belt or blades of any kind, there are guardrails so your hands do not get caught in them, and when there is an orange cloud, a lethal orange-colored cloud released when explosive mixtures, most likely diesel fuel mixed with fertilizer, is wrong and goes off. All coal miners in its way are instantly moved. Also, every miner, no matter what their job is, has to take a starting safety class. So in Wyoming, in 2011, there has been less than 10 deaths overall.
As you can see, there have been many safety changes ever since coal mining started in Wyoming and the whole USA. Coal miners went from going to work with normal clothes on, hoping it's safe, to carrying advanced safety gear and emergency radios. It is actually so safe now that you can drive right over a field of loaded explosives and not feel a bump. They even give visitors hard hats if they're anywhere on mine property. Now, being a coal miner doesn't mean constantly risking your life.